The Nagorno-Karabakh conflict is one of the many enduring and complex conflicts in post-Soviet space. In this episode, we will briefly go over history, geopolitics, and current status of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. My name is Ali Reza and this is Orient Report. Southern Caucasus is a unique geography due to its multi-ethnic demography inhabited by various sects and religions. There are many evidences of prehistoric and ancient human settlements in Southern Caucasus. The region was home to many principalities throughout its history, yet no major regional or global power emerged from here. Southern Caucasus was often a contested territory among pre-modern empires and extremely difficult to conquer due to its harsh geography. Hence, for the most of medieval and pre-modern history, the region was often ruled by principalities and khanates which paid tribute to the dominant power in the region. Empires which controlled the Iranian plateau, the Ottomans, and the Russians often contested each other to assert their dominance in the region, until finally in early 19th century when Russia annexed the region once and for good. Up until the collapse of the Russian Empire in 1918, the region was under a military administration based in Tbilisi. However, after 1918, the Transcaucasian Democratic Federative Republic declared its independence, which was soon replaced by democratic republics of Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. After the Soviet takeover of these governments, these newly formed republics were integrated to the Soviet Union with minor changes. Since none of these republics had clear borderlines, most of the modern-day borders were drawn during the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union administration and its vast territories had changed dramatically since its establishment in 1922. Southern Caucasus, for instance, was integrated to the Soviet Union as 3 republics. However, later on, their leaders agreed to unite as a Transcaucasian Soviet Federal Socialist Republic, and finally in 1936, the Transcaucasian Soviet Federal Socialist Republic was dissolved and Soviet Socialist Republics of Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan became standalone republics within the Soviet Union. The roots of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict began also during this time when Armenian intellectuals lobbied for the autonomy of Nagorno-Karabakh, which eventually led to the recognition of this region as an autonomous oblast, meaning province, within the territories of Azerbaijan Soviet Socialist Republic in 1923. There were other autonomous oblasts everywhere in Soviet Union, which often also were subject to armed conflicts after the dissolution of the Soviet Union. In addition to Nagorno-Karabakh, for example, Southern Ossetia and Abkhazia in Georgia and Gorno-Badakhshan Autonomous Oblast in Tajikistan can be shown as few examples. The population of Nagorno-Karabakh, according to the official census of the Soviet Union, was predominantly Armenian throughout the 20th century. Large number of Azerbaijanis also lived in this region. Up until the late 80s, there was no major ethnic or religious violence in Karabakh. However, starting from 1988, when Armenian separatists held a referendum to announce the independence of Nagorno-Karabakh, there has been constant tension in the region. For more than 6 years, up until 1994, violence spread to other Azerbaijani territories and took thousands of victims, mostly from the Azerbaijani side, and internally displaced hundreds of thousands. Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh declared the independence of Artsakh Republic and self-ruled this small land with no international recognition. After a ceasefire brokered by Russia in 1994, no peace treaty was signed and the conflict remained frozen with short periods of limited tensions. The Minsk group, headed by Russia, France, and the United States, held few peace talks with no feasible results. Although a small scale, the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict is more than an ethnic conflict. Regional actors such as Iran, Turkey, as well as global powers such as Russia and the United States all have stakes in this conflict, making it extremely complex to resolve. Moreover, regional and global actors often prefer to prolong the conflict to strengthen their footprint in the region. In September 2020, Azerbaijani army began to launch a military offensive to regain control of Nagorno-Karabakh, and after 6 weeks of intense fighting, a ceasefire was brokered by Russia in November 2020. The ceasefire agreement led to a significant territorial gain for Azerbaijan, with Armenian forces withdrawing from several areas. However, a large number of Nagorno-Karabakh remains under the control of Armenian separatists who refused to join Azerbaijan under any circumstances. Although many peace talks were held by Russia, the US, and the EU, there are frequent clashes between both countries which likely would continue for the coming years. What adds to the complexity of this conflict is the interference of Russia, Iran, and Turkey in favor of different parties. Russia, though, has the final say in this region and up until recently had favored Armenia over Azerbaijan. However, with the pro-Western president ruling Armenia, Russian attitude has changed drastically, which ultimately allowed Azerbaijan to liberate its occupied territories. The fate of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict depends on mutual agreements of both governments on two land corridors. The Lachin corridor, which guarantees the connection of Armenians of Karabakh to the mainland Armenia, and the second, Zangezur or Syunik corridor, which will connect Autonomous Republic of Nakhchivan to the Azerbaijani mainland. Any two-sided agreements on these corridors need to be agreed by Iran, Turkey, and Russia, and it is unlikely to happen anytime soon. Iranian authorities oppose to any change in the political map of the region, specifically the Zangezur corridor. The major argument here is that the corridor eliminates Iran's border with Armenia and will pave the way to NATO's presence in the Caspian Sea. Turkey also supported the corridor with the argument of having a direct access to the Turkic world. Russia, on the other hand, prefers to play Iran and Turkey against each other to keep its dominance in the region. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.